blinking?
Blinking now.
Yeah. Well, we're all gathered in the Tulsa airport. The Genders and I were waiting on the bus for the group that's coming in from Pittsburgh. So I guess I'll shut off until they show up. I don't know. Well, my dang thing don't want to shut off. Now, ain't that something? I expect I've got pictures of the floors and everything else, but now that thing should shut off. I've had a little trouble with that once before.
I went through all this. I looked to
Stop
see how
it,
many
yeah,
hours.
stop.
Yeah, that's the.
Yeah. And I wrote it on this, wrote it on there.
That's
And
something.
how much money?
Yeah, I'm afraid so. I got the cap over. There's usually you get problems with trying to get it to run.
It says stop and eject.
Yeah, it sure does. I think that's to eject the film out. Opens the side up.
Anything here?
No, that's a wide angle and telephoto linear push. Well, I taped this thing shut because it's got a bunch of crap under there to claim it.
Why not?
Well, this thing sure isn't in color.
Hi, Marvin. How are you? You're sure looking good this morning.
Well, I was going to turn this over to you. You promised you'd do this for a copy of them.
Oh, you're on camera.
Smile, yeah.
Get Ruth in here.
Well, I guess I should put a little voice to this. We're sitting in the airport at Dallas. I mean at Tulsa. What's the matter with me? Tulsa. Getting ready to go to Salt Lake City, on up to Vancouver, and eventually on up to Alaska.
I knew you knew him, but I didn't know.
My mother lives out here. We came down.
She was in Tulsa.
I guess.
Boy, I tell you, I've got a camera that won't shut off.
No, it isn't.
Can you beat that?
Let's see it. I just read that, so I thought, oh, that's what Marvin.
Well, they must be really after a lot of them, huh?
Well, I don't know what I'm going to do if that thing won't shut off.
What?
Well, that camera won't shut off. That may be what I'll have to do.
This man's a mechanic. Give it to him. He'll take it apart.
But all else fails, Marvin, you get the instructions.
Yeah.
I'd read it.
Read the instructions. He probably doesn't have it.
Isn't that the nuts?
Well, let it wear down the battery. We'll buy a new one.
I gave that to him for his 70th birthday, and he has never done
This would have been a good one.
Okay. Go down. Decided by down.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is the second reminder to all shore-based personnel and those persons not sailing on the vessel, the MS Western. Thank you.
This is a picture of our cabin, which is very, very, very nice.
Larger than any we've ever had.
Well, this is a life jacket or lifeboat drill on board ship. It's kind of required below.
Kevin 7 here, 007. 547. 547 here. 555. Here.
On. I'll be darned. Oh, okay. Well, I'm glad it's not raining.
Wouldn't make it as pretty.
Yeah. This is really on the upper end of the world. Well, I'm right at the front end of the ship. I thought I'd help these fellows get it in and get it tied up. But I believe they're headed out, and I think they kind of know what they're doing. This is a very narrow little channel going into Ketchikan, Alaska. Looks like they're taking out a float plane. I suppose when the tourists come to town, they all
I did the same thing. Tell them what's going on, assuming we know.
Ted, we'll take you on the dock. We have two lovely ladies here who are ready to manifest your folks when they get here. 10-4, Dave. I'll be there in a minute.
That's a picture of the ship that we're on, and it's a long, long ways away. We're just ready to get on a bus tour here.
We got to, but we're not gonna get to. We're not gonna get to? We were, according to the way that all of our papers read, that they were going to take us up to the Mendenhall Glacier. I thought we paid for that.
Well, I thought we did
Juneau.
too.
Tell them what it is.
Now it's a big crane loading logs to go down to lower 48. Ketchikan.
But I thought they were now, I guess they're doing it here.
In the background is a pulp mill.
Explaining they can shift around logs as you see them, which is actually the most economical thing to do. Makes the most profit because the cost of labor here is expensive, and plus there's the capital investment of building a log processing plant. So they can just shift these round logs like you see them and then do the processing somewhere else where the cost of labor is cheaper. That's the most economical thing to do, and that's what the native corporations do. But the pulp mill, because they take land, or they take...
We're here at Ketchikan, and I wanted to try to get a picture of some of these tour boats that's coming in.
Western Dam, 11 o'clock to up. Yeah. Stop in line here, please. Thank you.
They're bringing people off of the ships into the docks here at Ketchikan. Then they turn right back around and get another load. A lot of tourists. Here they say the winter population is about 14,000. The tour boats come in, it jumps to 20,000. Lots of seaplanes flying out of here.
Oh yeah, but you didn't.
My red light blinking, Mabel.
Let's see. Hey, you got it. You got that thing on.
You better get your cover off.
Yeah, you sure have.
Now we're headed back to the ship after being on shore at Ketchikan. Try to get an idea of the size of it.
Nice lady, what time is it?
Which of the windows we were waiting from last night?
Oh, it was the big ones.
Yeah, but which ones? 25
Another boat in there unloading.
They're on the other side, I think. Yeah, on the other side. Remember?
Here. Yeah.
She should be holding flowers, blow it up like...
I heard that anyway. I didn't hear it, but I heard it. I did too. I thought,
Okay. We're at the Mendenhall Glacier. up here in Alaska.
A piece just calved.
And Mother said she just heard a piece fall off. And there's some of the pieces out in the river there that has fell off at one time or another. And I guess a chunk of it just left a while ago.
It's a lot rougher than, it's a lot rougher than one. See, the other one may have.
My little red light blinking?
Huh?
Is,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm going to zoom in on a big waterfalls over here.
Don't know if it comes from the glacier itself or if it comes from another source.
Quite a waterfalls. It's coming up from the ice fields. I assume it'd be coming from the glacier.
I think it probably comes from in and around because that would be all in between the mountains back behind that mountain. So it probably is, the glacier is the source of it.
Looks like that water is lower than the lake.
That falls is really coming out. Fred, hey, turn around.
Talk, tell them what it is.
Well, that's our leading attorney from Iola, Kansas. He just got his head in the wolf pack. Now, damn it, get out of my way. You just come get right in front of me. Don't you have no manners?
You find Jake the killer. Bust it on, go!
Well, there's a few of our group from eastern Kansas out in front of the hotel getting ready to take a bus trip. Distinguished looking man from Topeka, if I could ever.
You guys better hurry, the bus is coming right now.
There's Doc.
Probably the most photographed man.
Boy, it's just as windy as all get out here. It's not overly cold, but it's as windy as the devil. I'm going to give it up and get back to the bus.
Blinks when you're shooting. Get over here, this big blue. Oh, there, oh, it just fell apart. Right back over here, it just fell apart.
This way, Miko.
You just know how many millions of years old the ice is.
These are chunks of ice that's calved or fell off of the big glacier up above, and they're just blue. They're so cold and hard packed. On the trying to get a close-up of a big chunk of ice.
Came off. It came off the glacier.
Somebody said it fell off the glacier. Well, we're all loaded on a boat, getting ready to take a ride up.
Portage Lake
Portage Lake,
to Portage Glacier.
Portage Glacier.
It is calving now.
Center and aft boxes, could you please do not eat, drink, or smoke the observation deck at any time by going out through the rear doors and up the center staircase. The bow section of the boat is closed and for crew members only. Over here on my right is Jose, and he's with U.S. Forest Service, and he'll be giving you a narration on Portage Glacier and of the valley. There is a speaker up top, so we'll be able to hear everything Jose has to tell you about Portage on the observation deck as well. Thank you.
Alright, I'd like to welcome every one of you to the Chugach National Forest. All this land you see around you, as we're traveling through here at Portage Lake, it's all part of the Chugach National Forest. And Chugach National Forest is the second largest national forest in the United States, and it extends 6 million acres from Prince William Sound in the east up to the Kenai Peninsula in the west. Now, almost 2 million of these acres are composed of only rock and ice, and that's about a third of the whole forest. And that's why glaciers have each other, and gradually, because of the weight and the pressure the snow is subjected to, fuses into glacial ice, and then gravity does the job of pulling the ice down. And as the ice is pulled down, it flows down from the mountains towards the valley, more snow is packed up behind it. And so we get a large, very large river of ice, which through time and storms and weather variations carves up this whole landscape that we see all around us. And now, one of the first things you notice around us here is our icebergs. Icebergs are the result of calvings from the face of the glacier, and water, since it's a good conductor of heat, sometimes warms up the face of the glacier, and when the weather gets warm and in the summer you get calvings, and all these calvings that fill up from the face of the Portage Glacier, which it's about 2.5 miles from where we are now. They sail to the northwest side of the lake, which because of the wind blows all the icebergs towards the southeast, and all the icebergs then just float. I'll talk to you about a little bit about Portage Glacier itself. About 100 years ago or so, the Portage Glacier extended all the way towards the other side of Portage Lake, towards the northwest, where the baggage box visitor center now is. But however, since 1914, the Portage Glacier has been gradually receding.
We're approaching the glacier, and this is just kind of up from the very face of it. We'll be going along the very face of it in just a few minutes, they tell me. Try to get a close-up of it. It's sure bring it up in my telephoto.
Some of you may have been wondering why the ice has that wonderful color of blue. The wonderful blue which you see is from the rainbow colors of the spectrum found within the light. The ice is extremely dense, and the pressure caused by the density presses out the air bubbles trapped in the ice, making it similar to a crystal clear prism. The warm colors of the spectrum, the red, yellow, and orange, are long wavelengths and are quickly absorbed into the ice. The blue, green, indigo, and violet are short, sharp energy wavelengths of light, which are reflected out through the crystal clear ice. Our eyes, therefore, see the blue ice lens of the light wavelength.
One more time, I'm going to pull it up close. And that's the very face of it. They
And the
say
annual snowfall here in Portage Valley has enabled the glacier to advance approximately 350 feet per year. But climatic action on the glacier itself is causing it to retreat about 650 feet per year. This results in a net loss of about 300 feet per year. So the Portage Glacier is actually continuing its receding trend. Ice breaking off from the glacier is called calving, and this event occurs at various times and can be seen on many of our trips. Calving occurs because water is a good conductor of heat, so it causes the face of the glacier and the water to melt. A closer look at the face of the glacier shows where melting has caused the ice to become higher and raise above the water level, showing some horizontal striations. By taking the length of the glacier and dividing it by the movement of the ice on the valley per year, glaciologists can estimate the age of glaciers. If we take Portage Glacier as an example, as they flow, we see these marks here of the sediment that eroded off of the ice scraped up from the bedrock which it lies. And when two glaciers come together, it's called a medial moraine. So indicates it's right in the middle of the glacier, indicates where two glaciers have become fused together. And if it's in the side, it's called lateral moraine, and it indicates the two extremes of how wide the glacier actually is. The thickness of Portage Glacier would be about maybe 300 feet, about 300 feet of thickness, and extends 5 miles up towards Chugach Mountains. A closer look at Portage Glacier reveals lots of rocks, stones, and dirt to the top of the spires of ice. The starboard side of the ship, but heading more towards the front of the ship. Just ice water. It gives us heat towards the face of the glacier. And when the climate gets warmer, the ice gradually melts.
yeah, you can sit here for an hour and never do it again.
That one way up there, that didn't make it down yet? I'll tell you, put your camera down.
No, that's very
What?
Turn it off and put it down and then it all happens.
It was once connected to Portage Glacier, but since it's receding, it becomes high in the mountain. This mountain is, and it's called now a hanging glacier because it's not a tide border. It does not reach the water level.
What's this glacier?
Did you get one of those tape roof?
Huh?
Did you get one of those tape bills?
Yeah. Then I went back in and got one.
Blue color. Glacial flower is suspended in fresh water and blocks out the sun's rays needed by plants to grow. Fish do swim in the water to get to their spawning grounds, but they cannot live in the water as there is no plant food available to them in the lake.
Oh, you know some of those pictures they had where they were back in those caves. I wouldn't want to be in there. How do you know it wasn't going to fall off?
Is there an outlet here?
Excuse me?
Is there an outlet?
No, there's an outlet here. Little glacier. 5 miles. 5 miles upwards. Our basic peak is one of the highest peaks here.
Yeah. Oh, look at the peaks of that.
Why is
Oh, that, hey, look, there's a hole in there.
That's what I noticed, yeah.
Yeah. Well, now what makes that hole up there?
Well, I'm just going to try to get a little shot of this as they swing around, swinging the boat around, go back up against the face, and I'm inside the glass, so there's going to be some spots, water spots on it.
How do people get those things? one piece. Look right there. There's like a dark arch up there, and then when it's light.
I'm coming out fast.
Oh, here's a big one down here, Marvin.
Yeah, it starts up there. There it is.
Look at this.
The walls of the mountain on our right show some excellent striations or scratches that were formed as a glacier came down from the mountain and began to fill the valley. The waterfalls which you see are from the meltwater from the Whittier ice field located high up on the mountain itself. You can also notice the lichens on the side of the wet mountain. Lichens cling to the rock. The root growth from the lichen allows the moisture into cracks and opens the way for the freeze-thaw action that crumble the rock. These whites, it's quartz that becomes embedded in the bedrock.
Well, it's quite a waterfall. You can see the snow up there where it's coming out. They're up high. Oh, actually.
Well, that quartz was formed originally with its level horizontal.
I wouldn't want to without water.
No, it just came from
So green light came on.
Sure, hell, let's see a little red light going. You're
Well,
just taking one.
all right, say something, Marvin.
Well, what do you want me to say?
Well, aren't you glad to be in Alaska?
I'm glad to be in Alaska.
Boy, wonderful place. What about you, sir?
I'm glad to be here.
Are you having a good time?
Yes.
And you, sir?
You're full of shit.
I turned it off. I gotta get it. What's your name, ma'am? Where are you from?
I was born in Iola. I'm one of the original people from Iola.
Iola what?
Kansas.
Are you
the land of
enjoying your
Oz.
trip to Alaska?
Yes, this is the
Fine.
second time around.
And you, ma'am, what is your name?
Cindy Bedini.
And what are you doing here?
Trying to keep you in line, Fred.
Hey, it just runs with when you take your finger off.
Take the whole card.
Okay, I'm not going to waste all this tape.
Well,
Is Lou Martin there?
Got a lot of it.
Not around.
What's the weather today?
Wonderful. When you travel with a weatherman, it's always wonderful.
Wait till it rains.
Hey, I was going to ask you.
Where you all from?
South America.
Are you enjoying your stay in Alaska? No. You're not having a good time? How about you, ma'am? You're on candid camera, so say something.
We love Alaska.
You're on candid camera.
Can we see ourselves on the 6 o'clock news?
Good morning, everyone. Okay, I just need the one down at the end of the train. Thank you. We're into this car. I'm Chris Heupel, and I'll be your car manager and narrator today. Most of you have met Frank and Kelly, one that gets to run up and down the stairs. Bonnie is your waitress, and she'll be up here in just a moment to take breakfast reservations. We'll be serving breakfast. We'll see some blue lupin and several others that I have not been able to necessarily identify.
No,
I was looking out for moose.
the other game. Trying to catch part of the train up here in Alaska on the curve. It's makes the curve. Yeah, there I got the engine and several of the cars.
We call it frustration in one car. You know a lot of people.
That's right. This town was scheduled to be the next capital of Alaska. That's why I said you gotta look, quick. I didn't want you to miss the next capital of Alaska.
It's like shooting a buck. No, it's coming up. Clearing up here. Clearing up again.
now.
Keep your camera on the opening.
Oh, big clearing.
Okay, shoot.
Should get something now.
Oh,
Wow. Oh, not a film.
the train. We're out of film. Stop the train. That's like you're out of film. I can't believe it.
Now you can really see the whole mountain. Yes. Look at that.
Can't believe they don't see it. It looks bluish on the bottom. Notice it looks bluish.
Yeah, it's gorgeous.
That's that game in the cruise. What do they call that?
Pretty soon it'll be right in front of us, I guess.
Well, I hope so.
You want over here?
No, I'm through.
Boy, that's pretty.
I got two. Her head was in the bottom of every picture I took.
Come on, Mabel.
Yep.
Come on.
Oh, isn't that pretty?
We're at 224 now. 279, we're as close as we're going to get. We'll only be 79 miles away at 224, so we're at 279, I'm sorry.
You don't get it now, lady. You've had it. Quit throwing your walking train.
Well, Marvin, you should be talking about it.
Well, you talk.
Me talk.
This is Mount McKinley. We're taking from the train that we're riding, and
The tallest is Mount McKinley.
I kind of hate to put it on close up because of the.
We're going to be closer to it in a few miles. At
I'm afraid it'll
milepost
be.
279, we will be.
I'm afraid it'll be real jerky on telescopic lens, so I think.
20,320.
There you go. 20,320. It's barely over 20,000.
I think I got that tree.
Closest we can get. She said the best.
Aluminum roofs have really made an impact in Alaska as far as its beauty versus the aluminum roof.
Or do they make metal roofs?
Now the cars that were going by that looked like, well, there was just one there, I guess, pressure cookers, probably are the cars that are hauling cement. Cement comes up on barges and then
That's
is
got
hauled
skis.
inland.
That plane right up there has
We're
skis.
stopping here in
It looks like he
Talkeetna,
only has one.
probably
Yeah,
to
it
pick up
does.
some people
Where
and
is
let
it?
them off.
Huh? That red plane.
We have a
going.
train
Well, I was
across.
trying to get some commentary, but I'm getting too much
We have a
competition.
two-story white building with a dark gray roof. Stayed here in 1923 when he came up to put the golden spike to finish the railroad. Now there's a sign in almost every room that says President Harding may have slept here. Now either he slept around or see the big leafed plant long in here just coming up by the blue loop, and it's a real big leaf. That's a cow farm.
Still more than 100 miles away though.
It is?
Yeah. This is the north and south peaks in the south buttress of McKinley. Mount Foraker and Mount, tallest mountains on the continent.
Is that a fish in there? Making that?
No, it's just rough water.
Ooh, look at that.
Yep.
I think so too. Ooh.
Tree line, you know.
The bank was going to
This
do
is just a river. The railroad is right along the side of the river, and it's traveled for miles and miles. It's really quite a nice ride. This is just a shot of the river that the railroad goes right along the river, and it goes for miles and miles. And it's just kind of a nice scene.
River, and you'll also see some of the nature's ways of changing the terrain of a braided river. The height of the glacier runoff will come in July. Now, Alaska has over 30,000 square miles of glaciers. There's over 100,000. And every time we come up the river, it's a little, there was still hunks of ice 3-4 feet thick all the way through here. Now, as we go for the next, let's see, until we get almost the whole way that we follow the Susitna. When we get up quite a ways, we'll still see some ice. There's still big hunks of ice. And we're close, right? Both begin with J. Hey! No. Look at that awesome mountain come out.
Isn't that pretty? Yes.
I didn't see a drop of it yesterday.
George did the right kind of weather.
You can't see it.
He knows how to talk to the man upstairs.
Ask him.
238.
Mile 238.
We'll talk a little bit more about Mountain
I heard
Finley
someone
while
say.
we're looking at her. She's 20,320 feet tall. Almost.
Well, this is probably the last picture that I'll take of Mount McKinley.
Virginia, get the hell out of our
I'm sorry about that.
You want me to cut your heads off or your feet off? Your feet!
Stomach.
I'm going to zoom in with a telescopic lens. Mother?
Can you see us in the middle of this? Sure.
Well, a green light went off, and I'm not sure that I got what I thought it did, so I guess I better take it over.
Didn't it make a noise?
I may have two pictures of the same thing.
I forgot. Sometimes
Hold on.
sometimes when it's really appreciated, that's
You just go around and take scenery and doesn't you?
Something.
Say something.
Yeah.
In the background is Mount McKinley, the tallest mountain on the continent. North American continent. It shows a good picture of the base structure of it too, from here.
Well, I'm going to say that's going to be the last time I'm going to take that.
Park.
This is a turnaround on our trip. I guess a lunch stop or something. Hot drinks or something.
26 years ago, when we were here with Genders and all our family, we went in the vehicle. We left the trailers in the campground, and we drove up closer to the mountain,
Take your hat off. We don't
up to a lake. But
Come
we
on
don't
up,
go that
Jack.
far. It would
Come on up.
It would be 11.
She was just
hours.
going into the history of.
Like we're having a good time.
Oh. Now, Marvin,
Look at, get out of the way there, Marvin.
somebody take that camera away. Some people want to get in with the mountain.
It's fine. Beautiful. Wonderful. I don't want to.
All right.
Sure.
Okay, let's go.
Thanks. There's Mug.
Not the feds that come up, it's a transport.
I'm giving them a growl and not a bunch, huh? Yeah, that's a long ways. Oh yeah. Supposed to be a pair of grizzly bears down there.
3 cubs in them.
I got it. But I've been buying the tapes and all that stuff. He's way ahead of me.
Well, we just got on the train and headed for Anchorage.
Anchorage? It's Fairbanks.
Fairbanks.
We're going north.
Fairbanks. I was going south, but we're going north. Now this is a big highway bridge across the gorge, and we're on the train while I'm taking these. Well, there's some rafters down there. Doing some rafting on the river.
Well, I'm gonna
You mean
All 3 of them.
person?
All 3 of them. The 3 of them combined. What is the 3 of them?
hell, I can't get my camera, so I'm not gonna worry about it.
Well, everybody come up. You can hear all the showers.
I wouldn't want to do that, would you?
Yeah, well, they paid the bell boy. The bell boy got an hour.
I'm not an adventurer.
Well, they spent $2 a bell boy.
Getting ready to go through a tunnel. Guess I just missed it.
Oh, do you? Yeah.
Now we just came out of the tunnel and going around the
Yeah,
curve.
he really did, real fast.
I was trying
and I was talking to them about
trying to catch the engine and the train. Pretty good curve here. Got a lot of reflection in the window of the sun like it is. This is just a scene of riding the train. It's a lot of scenery.
The total that the 3 of them are out, $5 to get to the bellboy to get to so that makes it $25.
And what the bellboy got, 26, 27, that's what they got.
That's right.
Waterfalls that we can see in the river way below us.
Discovery. Yeah. I like that Discovery program. What is that on every night? I mean, every week, you know.
Oh, Discovery's on. We get Discovery Channel all the time. I mean, it's just like ABC, NBC. But they have certain.
Yeah, that's the same.
Yeah, I love the one that gal.
It's like a big power plant down there.
The only thing that helped me. Boy, these things pants are tight.
1,000 acres. He plants a special hybrid grass. When he first started, about a year after he first started it, he came out and he had about 150 dull sheep grazing on his land, so he proclaimed it a game refuge. Now, we're lucky if we see 2 or 3 or 4 or 5. Can you imagine what it's like to come out and see 150 of them grazing on your land?
What happened to the trees over there, man?
Okay, Marvin, party is 6. I'll take you down now.
Come on. Marvin is 6. Marvin is 5 kids.
All right.
It's awful nice of Marvin to buy us supper.
Yeah.
Well, now that was in the
About. So it probably gets a little
Town of
more,
Banana.
I would imagine, in the summertime. This started when the Alaska Railroad was being built, and they built the Mears Memorial Bridge. And before they built that bridge, and I'll show it to you, before they built it, they had a bridge. They used to ferry people and freight across this river, and then in the wintertime, they built tracks, narrow gauge tracks across the river. And you know what would happen in spring? They'd fall in the river. So they used to bet on this. The purse at that time used to be $800. And of course, then when they built this bridge, all their sport was taken away, so then they came up with this tripod days that they deal with now. The breaking of the ice on the Tanana River is a sign of spring in the interior.
The train is going
Now, as we go by,
like
I
a big
consider
circle.
this seaport, small as it is probably as important as San Francisco or New York or any of them. If you consider the per capita people and the number of people and the how crucial it is for people to get these supplies. If you look on your left-hand side, you'll see the fuel oil.
tiny transport. Little tiny transport, little tiny.
I'm just going to give you an idea of how much this barge line carries. It says each year the line moves about 25 million gallons of fuel oil and 35,000 tons of freight on the 14 barges. So it's not a small operation. Boy, a barge must just have left. There isn't much on this dock. Usually it's loaded.
That's one of those Mercury Vapor lights.
It's not set by illumination for sure, it'd be off.
I'm getting a lot of reflection in the window. But the idea is...
Now we're going to go over that big bridge there on your left-hand side. So we're going to make a great big U to come around to it.
Well, I'm taking a picture through the car, out the other windows.
We're going to get on that. If I get over here.
Train's made nearly a complete circle.